Although Dreamweaver is classified as a WYSIWYG web editor, or what you see is what you get, you can't totally trust Dreamweaver's design view when evaluating the appearance of a web page. Fortunately, there are several options for ensuring that what you see in Dreamweaver is what you get in a web browser or on a device. Let's take a look. Now, I'm beginning this video with the previewing_pages file already open on my computer. And although at this point this is not a visually stunning web page, I feel it's an appropriate time during this video course for us to go over previewing your document. So the first thing I want to point out is that I have the previewing_pages.html file already open on my computer. And what I've done up here is I've clicked on the Live button. Now I'm going to turn it off for a second so we can see that by default what you're seeing is the standard view. But if you click the Live button, what Dreamweaver does is renders your page using the WebKit rendering engine, the same engine used in browsers like Safari. Now, what this does is it renders your web page, and you can see that your text shifts slightly and changes appearance a little bit. And again, this is not a visually stunning page at this point, but it's a good example of how by pressing the live view, you get a slightly different appearance. And I encourage you to use this as a great way to quickly take a look at content in Dreamweaver. Oftentimes I'll see something that doesn't quite look right, but when I turn on live view, it cleans up the problem. Now, one thing to point out with live view is I can't work in live view. You'll notice it appears that I can highlight the text, but if I go to make a change, I'm actually typing on my keyboard right now, nothing changes because I cannot actually work in this live view. So I'm going to click that button and I'm going to turn live view off. So that's one way we can preview our web page. Another great way is to preview it in a web browser. So that's done very easily. I can click on this button right here and it allows me to preview in any of the browsers that I have listed. So I'm going to choose preview in Safari, and that's going to open up my web page in Safari so I can see what it actually looks like in the browser. And I know what you're probably thinking. Well, maybe I use Firefox or Chrome or some other browser, and that's fine. What we're going to do is we'll close this, and let's go back to Dreamweaver. If you click on this icon again, the preview or debug in browser icon, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose Edit Browser List. And this is something to point out because it'll open up your preferences, and you can see that Safari is the only browser listed. And it really depends on when you've loaded your browser as far as when you're going to be able to see this inside of your preferences. So in my case, I may have loaded Firefox after the fact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the plus sign, and I'm going to click the Browse button, and I'm going to navigate for Firefox. So I'm going to select Firefox, and I'm going to click Open. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to give the browser an appropriate name. I can really call it whatever I want. By default, it's putting Firefox in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this as my secondary browser. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. Now, what the primary and secondary browser essentially does is basically assigns a keyboard shortcut to it. And you'll see now that Safari is my primary browser, and that shortcut is Option F12.